Now this delta is formed at the mouth of Nile River, which flows through Africa in the northern direction to meet the Mediterranean Sea. So this Nile delta is formed at the confluence of Nile River with the Mediterranean Sea, and this is an example of marine dominated, or to be specific, wave dominated delta. Previously we have seen some of the modern examples of deltas. The first one was Mississippi Delta, which is an example of river dominated delta, and it is also called as high constructive delta because it is building up toward the seaward side. The delta is prograding and it is being constructed by the deposition of sediments. As against that, the second example that we have seen is Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, where the action of tides is more dominant than the river, and the sediments which are deposited by the river, they are getting redistributed to form tidal flats or braided distributary channels, and it is like an estuary, and it is a destructive delta, high destructive delta. Now today's example, that is Nile Delta, it is a wave dominated delta, and therefore the shape of this delta is smooth and arcuate. The coastline that is formed at the edge of this delta, it is arcuate in shape, or it is smooth, you can say. Now this is because as soon as the sand is deposited by the river at the distributary mouth in the form of mouth bar, it is reworked and redistributed by the sea, and to be specific, by the waves from the delta front sand to form the barrier island. Now this barrier island is part of the transitional environment that we will discuss separately later on in detail, and other parts of the barrier islands. Now here in this diagram you can see the diagrammatic representation of Nile Delta. This is the Nile River entering into the Mediterranean Sea to form this arcuate shaped delta. Now arcuate shape is nothing but the shape of a bow. You can see here, it looks like a bow, therefore it is called as arcuate shape. So this is the coastline which has taken a smooth arcuate shape because of the action of waves. How does that happen? That we will see later. Now you can see that this shape has formed on the either side of the distributary channel, if you see carefully here. So the sediments which are carried by this distributary channel into the sea, they get redistributed on either side of the distributary channel to form a smooth concave outward profile, and the whole structure looks like a bow. So sometimes it is arcuate shaped, in few cases it is cuspate shaped. Now in this delta you can also see the Suez Canal on the right hand side, which comes through the Red Sea and the city of Cairo, which is in Egypt. So lot of cities are thriving on this delta, and if you see the satellite image, you'll be able to see the vegetation and the settlements. So in this diagram you can see the extensive fringing barrier sand bodies. So these sand bodies are bordering the delta on either side. Now this you have seen previously also, just to remind you that when a delta is forming, you see three different parts: the delta plane on the top, and this is how the stacking of delta front sand takes place, and at the bottom you get pro delta mud. So if this pro delta mud contains sufficient organic material and if the conditions are suitable, this pro delta mud may become a source rock, this may become a reservoir rock, and if there is any restriction or barrier for the further movement of hydrocarbons, these deltas could be excellent reservoirs. So most of the oil that is produced today, it is from deltas. If you do some research, you'll be able to find out. Now this is the diagrammatic representation of action of longshore drift currents or waves, by which the sediments carried by the river get redistributed. So this is the distributary channel which deposits the sediments here, and these sediments are transported laterally by the waves, and this lateral movement of waves is called as longshore drift currents. So as soon as the sediment is deposited here, it is redistributed or transported laterally, and therefore this becomes an arcuate smooth profile. Now let us see how the longshore drift currents, which is a coastal process, actually works. Now this is the beach, and we are looking at the beach from the seaward side, and these are the waves, and you can see the prevailing wind direction. So the waves are generated by the wind, and these waves move towards the coastline in the direction of wind oblique to the coastline. And here you can see the sand grain. So when the wave strikes the coastline, swash current is generated and the sand particle is moved obliquely towards the beachward side, and again it moves back by the gravity when the wave returns toward the seaward side vertically downwards. And this is how the sand particle is moved laterally along the beach, which results into the accumulation of sand particles and barrier bars ultimately. So the grain is transported obliquely by the swash current in the direction of wave, and it is again transported backward by the gravity vertically downward. Here again you can see how the sediments deposited by the delta distributary channel in the form of mouth bar here is redistributed by the waves to form this smooth coastline. So with repeated transportation of sediments by the longshore drift currents or waves, you see formation of barrier bars, parallel ridges of sand or hills of sand. If you see carefully here, you'll be able to recognize that there are numerous barrier islands. In this diagram also you can see the barrier islands which are parallel to the coastline. So this is the characteristic feature of wave dominated delta, where you can see sand bodies deposited parallel to the coastline, as against the tide dominated deltas where the sand bodies are digitate and they are deposited perpendicular to the coastline. We will see the difference again later on. Now again coming back to the introduction of depositional systems, if you remember, we have seen the classification, the broad classification of depositional systems. So these are classified into two major groups. One is dip fade systems and another is strike fade systems. Dip fade systems are those which run perpendicular to the coastline and deposit their sediments, and strike fade systems are those which form as a result of deposition parallel to the coastline. So the first type of system that we have seen is fluvial system, and it is a type of dip fade system where the sediments are transported from the mountains perpendicular to the coastline, and in sync with that, delta is also a part of dip fade system where the sediments are further transported perpendicular to the coastline. But associated with wave dominated deltas you find barrier island complexes, which includes lagoon, tidal flats and other sub environments, which is a part of strike fade system where the sediments are transported or redistributed and deposited parallel to the coastline. So although delta is a part of dip fade system, you will find environments associated with delta which is a part of strike fade system. So here you can see these barrier islands which are seen parallel to the coastline, also the lagoon which usually forms on the landward side on the other side of barrier bars, or tidal channels, tidal inlets, or ebb tide delta, flood tide delta, all those sub-environments are part of strike fed system. So again, when we come to the strike fed systems, we'll discuss all these sub-environments in detail. Now this is the block diagram where you can see the phases associated with wave dominated delta. You can see an active distributary channel and mouth bar faces at the mouth of distributary channel, from where the sediments get redistributed to form barrier islands like this, parallel to the coastline. Behind barrier islands here, you might see formation of marshes or lagoons and tidal flats somewhere here. Apart from that, you can also see the abandoned distributary channels and pro-delta mud at the bottom. Now this is a satellite image where you can see the Nile River, which is running towards the northern side to meet the Mediterranean Sea, and it forms a Nile River delta here. So this is the longest river in the Africa. Apart from the delta and river, you can also see the Red Sea and Suez Canal, which meets the ocean, the Mediterranean Sea here. One more example of wave dominated delta where the sediments are redistributed to form the spit like structure or barrier island. Now here in this block diagram, you can see different types of deltas. This is the cross section, and this is arcuate shaped wave dominated delta. This is bird foot type of delta, and this is cuspate shaped delta. So these are similar. Cuspate shaped delta is also wave dominated delta. Again, you can see the different morphologies of deltas that we have seen. The first one here is the bird foot delta. The example that we have seen previously is Mississippi Delta, where the river is dominant and you can see a bird foot. This is the tide dominated delta, where the sand bodies are digitate and perpendicular to the coastline. So you get to see sand bodies which are deposited perpendicular to the coastline here, and tidal flats. And this is wave dominated delta, where the sand bodies are deposited parallel to the coastline in the form of barrier islands. And this is the hybrid of both actions, wave dominated and tide dominated, where you can see sand bodies perpendicular to the coastline as well as parallel to the coastline. Now this is the classification of deltas based on the dominant processes, the same thing that we have seen just now. And the dominant processes are fluvial process and marine processes, that is waves and tides. So when the fluvial process is dominant, you get to see a radiating bird foot delta, where the sand faces is in the form of radiating mouth bars, and the example is Mississippi Delta. When the action of wave is dominant, you get to see distributary channels truncated by barrier bars, that is in case of Nile River Delta that we have seen just now, and the sand faces are arcuate and barrier islands parallel to the coastline. And the third example is where the tides are dominant, where you get to see formation of extensive tidal flats or tidal sheet sands, and the example is Ganga Brahmaputra Delta. Again, the same thing is shown in triangular form. It is better to understand here in this diagram. Now this end represents the dominance of river, this end represents dominance of tides, and here you can see the third corner represents the dominance of wave. So based on the dominance of these processes, the deltas show different shapes or morphologies. So when the river is dominant, a delta is elongated. As the influence of river goes on decreasing, it becomes lobate shaped. Lobate shape is something like this. and elongated is Birdfoot delta. With further increasing influence of waves, the delta becomes cuspate shaped or arcuate shaped. On the other side, on this spectrum, if you see, when the river is dominant, the delta is elongated, and when the tides are dominated, when the tide is dominating the sediments, you get to see formation of estuary or tidal flats, like in case of Ganga Brahmaputra delta. Same thing again with the examples of these deltas. So this is all about the modern examples of different types of deltas. Next time we will see the delta cycle and deposition in deltas.